James Carter was one of the richest businessmen in New York. He owned luxury cars, a mansion, and multiple successful companies. From the outside, it seemed like he had everything a person could ever want: money, power, and influence. However, deep inside, James felt an emptiness that no amount of wealth could fill. Despite his success, James had no real friends. His family barely spoke to him, and he could not remember the last time he had laughed from the heart. Every day was the same: meetings, phone calls, business deals, and signing checks. He spent his nights alone in his grand mansion, feeling a loneliness that grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, after a particularly stressful meeting, James decided to take a walk through a quieter part of the city. He wore simple clothes so no one would recognize him. As he walked through the park, he noticed a small food stall where a man was selling hot tea and snacks. The owner, an elderly man named David, had a bright smile and a kind face. James watched as David chatted with his customers, laughing and sharing stories. Curious, James approached the stall and ordered a cup of tea. "You seem very happy," he said to David as he took a sip. David chuckled. "Happiness is free, my friend. You just have to know where to find it." James raised an eyebrow. "But you work long hours at this small stall. Don't you wish for a better life? A bigger business?" David smiled. "What would I do with a big business? I have everything I need. I wake up every morning excited to meet new people. I go home to my family, who love me. I have food on my table, a roof over my head, and laughter in my life. What more could a man ask for?" James was silent for a moment. He had everything that David didn't: money, status, luxury, but he didn't have the one thing that David had in abundance: true happiness. Feeling a strange sense of comfort, James visited David's tea stall every evening for the next few weeks. They talked about life, dreams, and the simple joys of everyday moments. For the first time in years, James felt like he had a friend. He even started helping David serve customers, something he had never done before in his life. One day, James asked David, "If I gave you $1 million, what would you do with it?" David laughed. "I would give most of it away. What would I do with all that money? Money is useful, but it doesn't bring happiness. People bring happiness. Love brings happiness." James thought about this deeply. He realized that despite his wealth, he had been searching for happiness in the wrong places. He had spent his life chasing money, thinking it would make him happy, but in reality, happiness was in the small things: friendship, kindness, and love. From that day on, James decided to change his life. He reconnected with his family, spent more time helping people, and started using his wealth to bring joy to others instead of just collecting more riches. He built community centers, funded education for poor children, and even helped David expand his tea stall into a small cafe. Years later, when James looked back, he realized that the richest moment of his life was not when he made his first million, but when he shared a simple cup of tea with an old man who taught him the true meaning of happiness. Moral of the story: true happiness is not measured by wealth, but by love, kindness, and meaningful relationships.